All right. Ahoy there, Wasted Water Sports. We got it sorted out. We are up and running here as the South Sydney Rabbitohs take on the Dolphins in the second game of a doubleheader here tonight. Wayne Bennett factor. How much of an issue is it going to be for the Dolphins? He knows so much about them. And surely he's got a plan in place to get the better of them. Couldn't ask for a better first-round matchup, seriously. Wayne Bennett against his old club. In terms of a multi for this one, I have gone Campbell Graham. Campbell Graham's going to be a big difference maker here for the Bunnies. Back in action. Absolutely love him. He's an absolute beast. I've got him anytime try scorer. And, of course, the hammer. How can you ever go past the hammer? And Cody Walker. I think Cody Walker is going to thrive under Wayne Bennett. And he will be back to absolute career best form. He's going to have a blockbuster year. I can see it happening. Campbell Graham, hammer. And Cody Walker, anytime try scorers. 3 legs, bring it in. Hungry before dinner. Ahoy there, mate. Waiting for the Cyclone in Brizzy. GC getting smashed at the moment. I'm running out of drinks. I made an order the other day. Because I was expecting everything to be closed, which it is. Now I'm running low. Gonna have to fly up to Gina's place and steal all her wine. As the Rabbitohs out onto the field. Whoa, what would you say about this turnout? A lot of empty seats out there. Campbell Graham, welcome back. He's missed 2024 with a serious sternum injury. And do not discount the effect that he's going to have on this team. And it's going to free up Jack Whiten as well. Jack Whiten could be a smoky for player of the match here because he has not had the luxury of Campbell Graham outside him. And I just think that just the presence alone of Campbell Graham, it's going to free up Jack Whiten to play his natural game. I feel like the absence of Campbell Graham, maybe Whiten was guilty of trying to do a little too much. And, of course, South Sydney last year, they were in all sorts anyway, weren't they, at the best of times? So Wayne Bennett is going to have an absolute immediate impact on this team. Never underestimate a Wayne Bennett-coached team. Pretty much what it boils down to. It's as simple as that. I wouldn't be surprised anything that a Wayne Bennett-coached side does. I mean, good or bad for that reason, to be perfectly honest. A moment's silence here, the memory of Gary Stevens. I do like how they say now, stand if you're able to. Stand if you're able to. I always like that because it reminds me of once, is anyone familiar with the band Disturbed? So the band Disturbed, anyway, the lead singer is notorious for having a crack at the crowd if they're not standing up and getting into his shows. Notorious for it. And there's actually a video floating around YouTube. I'm not sure if it's still there, but it was floating around YouTube. And anyways, in typical form, the lead singer of this band cracks the epic shits. And he pinpointed this lady. He's like, you stand up. And it turns out that she was in a wheelchair and couldn't stand. And then, of course, obviously, he felt horrible about the whole thing. But yeah, they cover themselves now. Stand if you're able to. Robert Howe says, ahoy, Dan. I'm out in the Lockyer Valley, stocked up with grog. Spin a shark, ahoy, heel fries, ahoy. And we're underway here, the second of a doubleheader tonight. Kanye West did that too, to a disabled woman, says Dan Jam. I can imagine that, actually. I can picture Kanye West doing that, expecting people to stand up. Sammy, 0705, 1992, ahoy. As it's the Rabbitohs with first use of the ball. Dangerously close to the sideline here. 30 meters out. from their own try line here, the Bunnies. On tackle 4. And Lachlan Hubner crunched in the tackle. Big shoes to fill there, Lockie Hubner. The injured Cam Murray, of course, back for Humphreys. Our first look at Jamie Humphreys. And he puts the kick down to the hammer. Beware. Beware the hammer. Brings it back to the 40-metre line on the kick return. Now Jermaine Asako. Just short of the halfway line, driven backwards. Good defense there from the Rabbitohs. So just how much of a plan does Wayne Bennett have? Up over halfway, Herbie Farnworth. His 100th game, Herbie the Love Bug. Tom Gilbert. Play 4. A minute and a half gone. Good field position here early for the Dolphins. Inside the 30. Max Plath almost gets through. 5th and last. They stay on the short side. The little dink over the top from O'Sullivan. Taken well by Jye Gray at the back. Momentary crisis averted here for the Rabbitohs, but that is a red-hot start for the Dolphins. And the Rabbitohs pinned down their own territory here, lacking go forward. Come on, Wayne Bennett, where's your master plan? The super coach. Rabbitohs showing nothing much at the moment. Tevez 99, ahoy there over on the TikTok. Humphreys puts the ball high, flying through and chasing down on this one. The Rabbitohs, Asako lets it bounce. And Jack Whiten's done extremely well, but the Dolphins have done even better. The hammer brings it out to the 25. Great work there from the Dolphins. We'll flick over to the game screen, even though there's no points scored yet. Tackle 3. And now up over halfway they go. The Dolphins. Saifiti. Daniel Saifiti, that is. We just saw it. Nearly dropped my drink. 5th and last. 35 out. The Dolphins. O'Sullivan. Kick in over the top. Well positioned there. Jye Gray takes it on the fall and heads back towards midfield. Robert Howe says, as the legend Fatty Fortin said, never write off a champion. Bennett's a champion. Yes, indeed. He's definitely got a plan. Walnut Hills, your super coach is going great this week. 678 with only 8 players used. Very nice. Have you used your captain, though? That's the question. Is your captain now out of play and vice captain? Up to halfway and down the short side. Humphreys puts the kick in. The hammer tracks backwards, takes it on the full. 4 minutes gone, no score here. Slow to get back the Dolphins. Saifiti rocked back in the tackle. Oh, that was Asako, sorry. Jeez. It's going to be a long old night if I'm getting Saifiti and Asako confused. Now that is Saifiti. Oh, Jerome Hughes is your captain and Connor Watson was vice. Okay, so you've still got your captain to go. Very nice. Yeah, I've still got my captain to go as well. Taken on the full at the back here. Munro back into contact. Gray for the first hit up. No, he feeds it on now to who have we got there? Isaiah Tuss, is it? Couldn't see. Turned away from me at the last possible moment. It was indeed Isaiah Tuss. Injury concerns, of course, here for the Rabbitohs. Loose ball. Cody Walker scoops it up. Gives it to Kalama Tungi. They've dodged a bullet there. the Rabbitohs looking a bit clueless. Jye Gray slips into contact, Reece Walsh style. And Humphreys again from inside his own 40. The Rabbitohs haven't progressed up over the halfway line yet so far, I don't think. And Junior Tupou caught in the tackle. 6 minutes gone, an absolute stalemate. And a penalty now to the Dolphins. Oh no, it's a forward pass from dummy half. Opportunity now for the Rabbitohs. I thought the referee blew the whistle for a penalty. No, he has blown it for a forward pass. Scrum down. Scrum down. And the Rabbitohs feed a golden opportunity here, 6.5 in. Their first attack in Dolphins territory. They break to the right-hand side. Campbell Graham, there's my boy. Low play the ball. He's also got his wrist all taped up. Judah Shivian, ahoy mate. Nice to see you again. 15 metres out from the line here. 7 gone. Walker down the left-hand edge. Out the back to Gray. They've got numbers here. Jye Gray straightens. And he's 5 metres short. Well tackled by Herbie Farnworth. Low play the ball. And they head back towards the post. Kalamatangi on play 4. Lined up now, the Rabbitohs. Space to burn. Campbell Graham puts the fend on. Pops the pass out for Tass. And the Dolphins defense slides across. It saves the day. 5th and last. 10 out on that far edge. Over on the right, Humphreys thought he spotted half a gap. Don't know that he knew that it was the last tackle, the goof. And this is going to be a penalty to the Dolphins for some reason as tempers flare up. Tempers flaring up here in midfield. And I'm not entirely sure why the Dolphins got the penalty. Because somebody got pushed. Weak. But anyway, the referee signaling his intent, stamping his authority over this match early on. So, chat room, what do we think of the new multi-cards? I mean, personally, and I'll tell you the reason why I did it, personally, I think it looks a little bit cleaner than the transparent player photos and that text that just sort of was hanging there. I think it looks more cleaner and connected. But do let me know. I'm always open to feedback from the chat room as the Dolphins here off the back of that penalty march up to the halfway line on play 3. Kafusi out the back to O'Sullivan. And now the inside ball and a change of direction all the way back down this near edge. And Avarillo goes to ground. They're 40 metres out now, the Dolphins. Fifth and last. Short side for Katoa. Taken at the back by Munro. And the Rabbitohs back down in their own half. Pinned inside their own 10-metre line. 9 minutes gone in a very uneventful game so far. 20 out from their own line, driven backwards now in a 3-man tackle. UIC says it's the cleanest, best pleasure. I'm going to need to have you. I'm going to need you to take a seat over here, USC. And there's something you need to know. Penalty here to the Bunnies, and they find touch inside the Dolphins' territory. Straight up the middle goes Sean Kepi. 6 again here for the slow play the ball. And Moali. 10 minutes gone. That's played. Another slow play the ball. Cody Walker out the back to Kalaumatangi. Gray again, heavily involved. Oh, just imagine if that was Latrell Mitchell sweeping around the back there. Heel Fries says, Dan, I have a confession to make. I love you, Dan. Oh, thank you, sir. Down the short side, Cody Walker to Gray. Numbers on the left. And Tyrone Munro with the first try. Well, wouldn't you know, son of a bitch isn't in my multi. But it's a try for the Bunnies. And they have just absolutely skinned the Dolphins here down the left. Gina Ferracini says, I love him too. Oh, feeling very loved. Defunk, ahoy, mates. Try time for the Bunnies. Cody Walker with the double pump. And that set up the space. Yes, actually, I've noticed, Defunk, that since I changed the scoreboard, the change to the scoreboard might not be all that noticeable, but I made it a little bit bigger. And ever since I made it a little bit bigger, I have noticed that the logo is sort of hanging right over the top of the scores. So I might want to indeed do something about that. Even if we, what will we do? Move it? No, not that way. Oh, yes, that way. Oh, Christ. Okay, wrong way. The man, the myth, the legend. How are you there, mate? There we go. That's what I was trying to do. Yeah, I made the scores a little bit bigger. From the sideline, conversion attempt, holds its line and goes over. And the Rabbitohs lead 6 points to 0. There we go. Let's free it up a little bit. Nice. Six points to 0, Rabbitohs. Cody Walker, heavily involved in that play. I talked in the preview video about Cody Walker under Wayne Bennett probably having a standout season, back to his best form, and he has started very well in this one. Back underway, Moali with the first hit up. Tackled inside the their own 22 here. But the Rabbitohs, after a slow start, look like they might be getting their act together. It's way too early to count the Finns out of this match. Way too early. I mean, look what happened in the Tigers-Knights game just before. Look what happened in the Roosters-Broncos game as the Rabbitohs now come up with a mistake on the halfway line. The Roosters scored first against the Broncos, got smashed. Tigers score first against the Knights. Should have got smashed. Rabbitohs have scored first here. Sharks scored first against the Panthers. Lost the game. I think the Warriors and Raiders game was the only game where the team that scored first went on to win the match so far. Scrum down here for the Dolphins. 13 minutes, 50 gone. Katoa takes it to the line. Flat pass to Maxi Plath. And he'll play it 35 meters out in midfield. Tom Gilbert. Good drive up the middle. In at first receiver, Katoa gets it to Saifiti, who bobbles the ball and spills it. They'd almost opened them up. But Daniel Saifiti with the mistake. And a 0 tackle here for the Rabbitohs. Campbell Graham now brings it out to the 30. A good run. By the way, UFC, James, Heel Fries, Dan Jam, D-Funk, Gina Ferracini, Rock My Balls, everybody that knows my hatred of the Canberra Raiders. We'll come back to it because the Rabbitohs are rolling up the field. Numbers to burn to the right, but they come back left. And Jye Arrow straightens, has to surrender as he runs in behind one of his own players. But yes, all the Wasted Water Sports regulars, they're in the chat room at the moment. I made a bold announcement in the last stream. Fifth and last. Kicked down the short side by Humphreys. Contestable. Taken well by Asako. And the Rabbitohs just get the timing wrong there. Asako's been taken in the air. Yeah, so I made a very, very brazen call in the last match. I said, and I'm now saying it again so that everybody's aware of it, this is no joke. This is serious. I will be cheering on the Raiders next week against the Show Ponies. And if Ricky's Green Goblins can manufacture an enormous victory and bring those Show Ponies back down to earth, I will officially support the Canberra Raiders in season 2025. I will buy the jersey. I will wear it on the Raiders streams. I will be a Raiders fan if they can knock off these bloody Broncos. And I stand by that. Richard Trainer, ahoy mates. Katoa, inside ball here for Saifiti. The Dolphins back on the attack. 30 metres out in midfield. O'Sullivan. Out the back it goes to the hammer. Bends away from Cody Walker. Cody Walker comes back at him. Kafusi. Straight up the middle. 20 metres out. They go. Oh, set restart here. And Marshall King scoots out a dummy half. Big time pressure here for the Rabbitohs defense. Gilbert in front of the post. Taken down 5 metres out. Marshall King goes left for Katoa. Loose pass, but it sits up. And Tupou picks it up and is driven over the sideline as the Rabbitohs defense swarms across. And Jye Arrow with a shove in the head of Junior Tupou. Jye Arrow's got to keep calm here. Jye Arrow has really got to cool his tits because he's losing control. That's not the first time in this match so far that he's been involved in a scuffle off the ball. Robert Howe, you're a Life Raiders fan. Scrum down for the Rabbitohs. Now driven back in the tackle. Huge defense here from the Dolphins. The Rabbitohs just can't get out of their own end of the field. This has been amazing. This feels so much like that Tigers Knights game, doesn't it? Like the Dolphins have had all the attack. The Rabbitohs stuck down their own end, but it's the Rabbitohs who leads. Through the hands now. Jye Gray onto Campbell Graham. Graham gets on the outside, but he's just tripped up by Avarillo. Gray slips. And that's play 5 now, 40 metres out from their own try line. And Humphreys from inside the 40 puts it high. Taken on the full by Asako at the back. Asako lines them up and half a gap opens up. Sean Kepi holds on for dear life. Farnworth down the short side and up over halfway. And the Dolphins back inside Rabbitohs territory. The hammer from dummy half. Has a little dance. Goes to ground. That's play 3. Staying on the short side. Here's Finefeuiaki. Tackle 4. 20 meters out. Gilbert shows it inside. Goes outside for Katoa, who is dumped. Racing up out of the line was Hubner to put him down. 5th and last. 20 meters out. O'Sullivan with the crossfield kick. Asako lets it bounce. Everyone lets it bounce, and it sits up for Farnworth. Back it comes for O'Sullivan. Second kick straight into the back of the Rabbitohs player. Not played at, so it's still 5th and last. It's now opened up for Herbie Farnworth. The double pump to Asako, and Asako scores in the corner. Well, more us than class, and the Dolphins have scored in the corner. We've got to get those more us than class t-shirts back available, because that was the very definition of more us than class. Nothing was happening. Everybody just stands and watches that ball as it bounces. Farnworth gets it back in field. O'Sullivan kicks it straight into the back of the head of Davey Moali. And then suddenly the Dolphins find themselves with a 2-on-1. And poor Tyrone Munro there. He was on a hiding to nothing. Do I jam in on Herbie Farnworth? Or do I stay out and defend Asako? In the end, he just sort of hovered around in the middle and did absolutely nothing. The indecision was evident. Six points to 4. Kick to come from out wide. Jermaine Asako from the sideline. Hooks this one off. 6 points to 4. Rabbitohs. All right, let's get a Cyclone update. Rabbitohs get us back underway. Saifiti charging from the back fence. That's a good run. Now outside the 30 on 2 plays. The Dolphins are certainly rumbling up the field. Oh, okay. Oh, he's tracking even further north away from me. And breaking up. Oh, it's breaking up big time. That cyclone is dissipating. Originally, it was going to be a Category 1 when it crossed the mainland. It's going to be a Category 1 before it hits the mainland now. In the latest tracking, as Munro bobbles the kick, manages to hold on, and the Rabbitohs have the ball inside their own 10. Noah B says the Tigers game was rigged. Mate, honestly, the Tigers have got nobody to blame but themselves. As Jye Arrow goes on a big run, bumps off 2 before going to ground. 30 meters out from their own line here, the Rabbitohs. 6 points to 4, they're in the lead. Penalty now, a relieving one late in the tackle count. I mean, I was going for the Tigers. I love the Tigers. I was cheering them on, but they've really only got themselves to blame there. A lack of experience. It was the experienced heads of the Knights, Ponga, Gagai, Brazil. These were the players that ultimately The experience shone through on the game for the Knights in the end. Geez, those Saifiti boys all look alike, don't they? Six points to 4. Daniel Saifiti's off for a HIA. Kimi Räikkönen has joined. One of my all-time favorite Formula One drivers, Kimi Räikkönen. Penalty here for the Rabbitohs. They find touch just inside Dolphins territory. Kepi with the first hit up. 40 metres out. Quick play of the ball. Hubner goes it inside. Takes the tackle. 30 out. Staying on this short side. Duncan to Walker. Walker out the back to Gray. Gray cuts back in field. Ten metres out. Walker. Across in front of the post to Hubner. 2 tackles left. They go right here to Jye Arrow. Is held in the tackle. 5 metres out. Last play. Back left they come for Humphreys. Crossfield kick. The Dolphins watch it again, and it's off the knees of Munro, and Munro gets a double. The Dolphins have just stood back and watched, and Munro traps it with his knees and dives on the loose ball. He's gone back-to-back, Tyrone Munro. Well, back-to-back for the Rabbitohs, not back-to-back in the match. Second try scored. The Rabbitohs lead 10-4. Game ML, I really hope that the Hammer scores. He's in my multi. Heel Fry says, Dan, join the Heel Fry's Dragons hate bandwagon. I can't hate the Dragons. I can't. I have too much respect and admiration for Shane Flanagan. I just have way too much admiration for that man to hate the Dragons. I'm sorry. Defunct says, is there extra time in regular season? Yes, they go to Golden Point if the scores are tied at the end of 80 minutes. Marley Prime, ahoy mate. Am I doing any streaming tomorrow for the NRL? I can't commit to anything at the moment. There's a lot of uncertainty, even though the cyclone is weakening and it looks like it's just going to dissipate into a fizzer and nothing's really going to happen. There's a lot of uncertainty around cyclones. It could still build up overnight, and who knows what we wake up to in the morning. So I can't say with any certainty what's going to happen. But as Humphreys converts from right beside the post, it's 12 points to 4. The Rabbitohs over the Dolphins. UFC says Flano was good on the bye round last year. They get some good guests there on the bye round. They really do. I love that show. There was a fantastic one late last year, I think it was. They recorded it late last year and they released it early this year, chatting to the Panthers CEO. That was so insightful. Just to learn like what makes the Panthers tick in that back office. Very, very insightful stuff. As the Dolphins get us back underway. And the Rabbitohs now bring it out to their own 10 on play 2. Slow going. Yeah, Robert Howe, very, very safe, mate. Very safe. As a penalty here to the Rabbitohs. And it's going to be another piggyback upfield for them. But yes, very safe here where I am. I am not in a flood-prone zone. And I am very, very south of where they expect the cyclone to make landfall. It's looking like it's going to cross at a Category 1. Or maybe even if it keeps breaking apart, it'll just be a tropical low. I know that the south side of a cyclone is not the best place to be. It's the most damaging side. But I'm not so far south that we're going to get the tail. But I'm south enough to be away from the eye. And it looks like it's going to break apart anyway and really get downgraded overnight. So all good where I am. And that's just me speaking personally. Again, it's obviously very alarming for the people in the direct path as that Walker puts the inside ball to Kalamatangi. Excuse me. 10 meters out here, the Rabbitohs. They're rolling upfield now. Cut out pass to Campbell Graham. Graham's wrapped up. Can't get the arms free. Fifth and last here, 10 meters out. They come back left. Walker steps. Cody Walker almost splits them apart. And he's brought to ground a meter short of the try line for the handover. Cody Walker nearly blitzed him there. 28 minutes gone. The Dolphins 10 meters out from their own line. Big defense here from the Bunnies. Herbie Farnworth, his 100th game. Plays at 25 out. Avarillo up to the 40. An early kick here from O'Sullivan in behind the line. It sits up inside the end goal. And the Rabbitohs, Isaiah Tuss brings it back to the 10. That was a good kick from Sean O'Sullivan. "29 minutes gone. 8 points the difference. Jye Gray. Such a little fella, but a nice, strong carry. But again, they're just pinned down here, aren't they? The Rabbitohs, they've had their chances up the other end of the field at least, so they've managed to get up there a few times. Humphries is caught with the ball, offloads for Walker. Walker gets the kick away, and it's a good kick in the end. They've let it bounce, and the Hammer picks it up inside the 10. They've got to shut him down quickly. The Hammer in open space. It's an alarming sight, but they have absolutely swamped him. Green and red jerseys everywhere to bring him down 20 meters out. Asako goes quickly from dummy half. Beats one, and he is wrapped up by Munro. 2 tries and big on defense. Tyrone Munro, what a game. Game ML cashed out $9.07 on a $5 bonus bet. And you still have 2 bets on this game. Very nice. Hey, even small positive margins are still positive margins, aren't they? So congratulations there, Game ML. Fifth and last here for the Dolphins. 40 out from the Rabbitohs line. Katoa kicks high for this near edge. Munro's under it, and he scampers away back towards the middle of the field. Jye Gray, very heavily involved. Jye Gray getting into the hard stuff in the middle of the field. UFC, I stand by the Rabbitohs winning this one. I really do. The Wayne Bennett factor. And they're slowly but surely clicking into gear here. And now Gray on the second phase play. Offloads. And up the middle of the field they go. 40 meters out from their own line. Gray again in at first receiver. Showing his speed. Gets up and goes again. Fifth and last just inside Dolphins territory. Down the short side for Humphries to put it high. Non-contestable kick. The Hammer has an age to sum up what he wants to do here. And he decides he just wants to head down, ass up, and go into contact. 15 out from their own line, the Dolphins. Cody Walker slow back into the line. The Dolphins go left, and Jake Avarillo was the only person there. Tackle 4. 30 meters out from their own line here, the Dolphins. 8 minutes to go until the halftime break. Back for Katoa. Kicks from inside his own 40. Gray tracks backwards, takes it on the full. Always had eyes on the ball there. Jye Gray is he's doing well tonight, Jye Gray. I actually think, in all honesty, probably a better option fullback. I know this is a controversial opinion because you're not allowed to say anything bad about Latrell Mitchell, as I've found out multiple times over the years. But Latrell's not a fullback. Jye Gray is clearly a fullback. But anyway, up over halfway go the Bunnies once more. Tallis Duncan's on the field. They rolled out the interchanges. Fifth and last, Humphreys. Kicks high. Taken to the back by Asako. And here's the hammer now in midfield. Brought to ground again, 15 metres out from their own line. The Dolphins, the hammer just hasn't been able to get the legs pumping. He hasn't had open space. They've shut him down well. 30 metres out, Farnworth, straight up the middle. 6.5 to go to the break. Oh, Averillo there bobbles the ball, does well to hold on. Takes it up over the halfway line. Short side play, Katoa, wrapped up by Cody Walker. Fifth and last. 40 metres out once again from the Rabbitohs line. O'Sullivan puts it high. Gray moves forward, takes it well and surrenders in the tackle. Jye Gray. Next Friday, 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. The Panthers versus the Roosters. Oh, God. Roosters fans, if you thought it was bad the other night, good Lord, you've seen nothing yet, I'm afraid. Cody Walker down the short side. Slow play the ball, appealing for a penalty there, Cody Walker. Quite possibly so, Robert Howe. Wayne Bennett would have a plan, and that sounds like a plan he would have. Kick it straight to the hammer, charge down on him, and wear him out. Junior Tupou here, taking the ground, and again, the Dolphins will start this set 15 out from their own line. And it's a good thing, too, because they're pretty much making meters at will. Josh Kerr. Strong carry. Quick play the ball. Here goes the hammer. The first little bit of open space that he's seen, and he goes on a good 15-meter raid up towards the halfway line. Kerr with his second carry of the set. Fifth and last now. Quick play the ball, and Katoa down the short side. Back inside to Averillo, who chips. Jye Gray comes forward, takes it in the air with two hands above the head on the bounce, and brings it out of danger. That was an amazing effort there from little Jye Gray. Amazing work at the back. Defunk says, do you think the Roosters lack strength, especially in the backs? Well, I mean, I know that Broncos fans aren't going to like me saying so, but it really was one of those nights where everything went right for the Broncos. They got all the bounces of the ball. They got a majority of the calls go their way from the officials. I mean, James Tedesco does not fire up at the officials like that for no reason. And once the game was over, the Roosters just completely went to sleep, which was a bit disappointing to see. You like to see a team keep the fight up even when it's clear that they've lost. And, yeah, I mean, that's how the 50 points came about. The Roosters stopped trying, which was really disappointing. Down the short side now. The Dolphins, enough about that game. We've got to focus on this one because Finefeuiaki nearly makes a break down the short side. 30 metres out from the line. Play for Katoa. Passes out the back to Farnworth. The wraparound with the hammer. Who's got Tupou? Tupou goes to ground 10 metres out here. Play 5. Dolphins looking very threatening. O'Sullivan. Crossfield kick. And it's well taken there by the Rabbitohs. Who was that? Kalaumatangi, is it? Surely not. Keon Kalaumatangi taking the high ball. That is an impressive effort for the big man. Right in front of his own goalposts. And that could have gone absolutely anywhere. But once more, the Rabbitohs just pinned down their own end. Fifth and last. A big kick needed here from the Rabbitohs inside their own 30. Back for Humphreys, straight down the middle of the field. The Dolphins happy to let it bounce. It now breaks away from Asako. Asako will go to ground just short of the 40-meter line. Their own side of halfway here, the Dolphins. 2 minutes to go until the halftime break. Can the Rabbitohs hold on? I mean, honestly, they've been under the pump for large parts of this first half. Very surprising that they're in the lead by 8 points. It's got a lot of feeling about that last game, the Tigers-Knights game. It's got those feels about it. Now it almost opens up in midfield. Ray Stone just brought to ground, but the Rabbitohs on the back foot. O'Sullivan chips in over the top, and Isaiah Tusk comes away with it. Poor option taking there from Sean O'Sullivan. And the Rabbitohs hold on. Campbell Graham rocked backwards in the tackle. Offloads for Gray. Gray gets away from one. Can't duck under Herbie Farnworth, though. Munro from dummy half. They'll be happy just to see it out to the halftime break here, I should imagine. Less than a minute remaining here in the half. Down the short side. And some fancy footwork and a good run there from Kalaumatangi. He plays like a back, but he's a forward. Fifth and last, and Humphreys very smartly keeps it low and flat and into touch. And that should see us into the halftime break. The Dolphins might get 1 or 2 plays at most in the remaining 30 seconds. $12 points to 4. The Rabbitohs. 20 seconds until the break. Can they hold on? They've only just been holding on, I think it's fair to say. The Dolphins feels like they've been dominating large parts of territory and possession. And that is the halftime break. South Sydney, 12 points to 4. I'm so curious to see some of these halftime stats. Let's have a look just quickly at the NRL website. Let's suss it out. 12-4 at halftime. Let's go to team stats. And, okay. Well, geez, 54% possession in favor of the Rabbitohs. That is surprising. What about territory? Surely the Dolphins are on top in territory. The Dolphins are well on top in territory. Yes, 64%. How familiar is this, right? This is incredibly familiar. A team with the territorial advantage failing to capitalize. The Rabbitohs have had to do a lot of defense down their own end. A lot of running the ball out from inside their own 10. Will they have the gas? We saw what happened to the Tigers. Will it be different for the Rabbitohs? Quick break, and we'll sum up all the first half action right after this here on the Waste of Water Sports. Halftime here. Sorry. Had myself a little bit of a snack. A little bit of bacon jerky. Halftime here, 12 points to 4. The Rabbitohs over the Dolphins, but it is, as we said right before the break, the Dolphins with all the territorial advantage. We saw this happen just before halftime in the Tigers Knights game. Tigers were up 8-0, but it was the Knights with 60% territorial advantage. Almost exactly the same. And we saw ultimately what ended up happening in that game. The Knights running the Tigers down at the back end. I don't think that's going to happen here. Really don't. Wayne Bennett, too smart, and he will have this Rabbitohs team very well drilled. Much more so than the Tigers. Tigers just ran out of gas. Tigers had nothing in the second half. They were completely spent after that first half effort. Rabbitohs are not going to be like that. Wayne Bennett will have his troops well gelled, well trained. And I actually think they go on with it. I think it just gets better from here for the Rabbitohs. But we'll see. 40 minutes to go. 8 points is not a big difference. Still anybody's contest here, this one. The multi, once again. Oh, it's not been a good night for the same game multis. Really hasn't been. Campbell Graham, Hammer, Cody Walker. Still feeling pretty good about it, though. I'll be honest. Feeling pretty good about it. I also had overs for this game as well. Not going to lie. I had overs and well overs for this game. I thought there would be so many tries scored. But both teams, I suppose, defending well at the moment. And attacking raids, few and far between. But we'll see a whole half a footy to go. 40 minutes. Anything can happen, as we know, in the span of 40 minutes. Gremlin of Fire. Ahoy there. Doing very well, thank you. Shame about the multis tonight. But hey, them's the breaks. We're still playing on profits from the Vegas weekend, so it's all good. It's all good. I am going for the Rabbitohs. Gremlin of Fire. The Rabbitohs are not my team. I don't have a team involved in this match, but I have tipped the Rabbitohs. The smarts of Wayne Bennett is what I'm backing to get them home over the Dolphins. And for the Dolphins, is it the Wayne Bennett curse? Is the Wayne Bennett curse real? Uncle Wayne leaves the club and they fall apart. Well, doesn't look like they're falling apart. The Dolphins have been very solid here in the first 40. They've certainly had their chances. They've dominated territory, as we said before the break. Somehow find themselves behind by 8. Thank you very much for the follow, Ethan03. What is that? 0362. Braden Goddard says, I support the Eels, and same, I tipped the Bunnies. Good man. Nothing against the Dolphins. I've just, tipped the Bunnies. That's all. Gremlin of Fire, thank you very much for the follow. And my team are the Sharkies. All right, halftime break. I've got to go get some refreshments. Got to stock up. Quick break and be right back for, hopefully, the kickoff in the second half. Coming up right after this. Why did I just put that on my chest? Weird. All right, be right back shortly. Okay. E.B. Williams, ahoy, mate. Welcome back. Rodney Rapper, ahoy. Go Rabbitohs, he says. E.B. Williams, the game is very delicately poised here at the moment. I tipped the Rabbitohs. I'm going for the Rabbitohs. But I don't know that the Rabbitohs really deserve an 8-point lead. Now, obviously, they've scored their points. They've got ahead. But when I say they don't necessarily deserve an 8-point lead, it just means that the Dolphins have left some chances out there. User Lawler says Jamie Humphries is something different. He is? Yeah, it's... how would we rate his performance so far? He's quite tall for a number 7, isn't he? Or is it just me? Does he just appear tall on my TV? He seems big and stocky for a number 7. He certainly does bring something different. Focuses a lot of his kicks down this short side. But I suppose there's nothing unusual about that. Bit of a heads-up play when he got caught on the 5th and last. I don't think he really knew that it was the 5th and last when he decided to have a little bit of a dart. But I would say overall he's been pretty solid. I mean, not outstanding. He hasn't set the competition on fire, but he's been solid enough. I mean, well, look, never question Wayne Bennett. If Wayne Bennett wants him and Wayne Bennett's got him, then he is obviously something. I mean, look what Wayne Bennett did for the Dolphins. Isaiah Katoa, I mean, did anybody know who he was? And Wayne Bennett said, yep, we'll have him, thanks. And he is a number 7 that did sort of set the competition alight. Had a breakout season. So if Wayne Bennett backs him, he's got the goods. That'd be my thoughts on it. One of the smartest coaches ever. And I would not dare question any of his decisions. So there you go. That's what I think of that. 8-point lead at the break, though, for the Rabbitohs. Can they keep it up in the second half? Cody Walker, just feel like something's going to give early in the second half. That's the feeling I get anyway. Something's going to give. Cody Walker has been testing that defensive line all through that opening 40 minutes. And something's got to give. Can't imagine that the entire second half is just going to play out in that stalemate that the first half was. Both teams going set for set. It's got to open up a little bit. I think we'll see a lot of points here in the second half. Let's see anyway. Not far away from restarting. 12 points to 8. Rabbitohs in the lead over the Dolphins. Can they play for the full 80? That's what let the Tigers down. What the hell is this commercial? Trumpet of Patriots. Oh, this is what we were talking about the other night, wasn't it? The hell is that? Trumpet of Patriots. Half-time break about to end. Rabbitohs with the 8-point lead. 0 ticks off the multi again so far. Campbell Graham's been kind of quiet. But he was out injured all of last year, wasn't he? So give the man a break, I suppose. I thought he would hit the ground running. He's been a little bit quiet. Certainly hasn't been his absolute best. So that one might struggle. But the Hammer, they've kept him pretty quiet at the back. But I think in the second half, look for him to come searching for opportunities in and around the ruck. You can't keep him out of the game. He'll find a way to get involved. So the Hammer and Cody Walker, I've got hopes for those two anytime try. All right. Looks like teams getting ready to come back out for the second half. We'll have a quick break and be right back for the conclusion of this match right after this. Teams out for the second half. Here come the Bunnies. Leading by 8. Can they go on with it here in the second 40? You would surely have to back a Wayne Bennett coach team, wouldn't you? Rabbitohs to get us underway. And it's the Dolphins who receive the kickoff. Second half is underway. Saifiti takes the first hit up. 20 meters out from their own line here, the Dolphins, and now a good charge. Finefeuiaki. As the referee blows the whistle, what for? No, go back on the mark is the call. Josh Kerr gets the offload, keeping the ball alive. Here's Stone up towards halfway. Plath on play 4, beyond the halfway line now. They've certainly not struggled to make meters here, the Dolphins. Fifth and last. 40 meters out, Katoa puts the kick high. And moving forward, leaping unnecessarily to take it was Isaiah Tass. I mean, he didn't really need to jump in the air. Looks flashy, though, and Whiten heads across field. Brought to ground on play 2. In front of their own post here, the Rabbitohs. Now 20 meters out, Campbell Graham. Hoping he steps up his involvement in the second half. Jye Arrow gets up and plays it out. Fifth and last now for the Rabbitohs. From just short of halfway, Humphreys puts the kick straight down to the Hammer. And straight into contact goes the Hammer, and he's now driven backwards to the 20. They have kept him very well contained so far tonight. Well, that's disastrous for my same-game multi, but it's good for the Rabbitohs that they've kept him under wraps. Finefeuiaki with another good charge. He's been solid tonight. Farnworth gets the offload. Second phase ball. The Dolphins continue to rumble upfield and dominate territory. Down the short side, O'Sullivan to Plath. Plath puts the step on. 30 metres out now. Play 5. O'Sullivan. No, that's Katoa. Katoa. High for the corner. Jye Gray. It's bumped back by the Dolphins. No, it's been lost forward by the Rabbitohs. And an accidental offside. Penalty to the Dolphins. They're going to challenge this, are they, the Rabbitohs? A captain's challenge. It's been ruled knocked on by Jye Gray. Accidental offside. Well, it can't be accidental offside if he gives it a penalty. It's a straight offside. So Jye Gray, well, it's been knocked back. From that angle, it's been knocked back by Averillo. That has been knocked back by Averillo. And the hammer has also impeded Campbell Graham, if you really want to nitpick. Oh, no. Challenge unsuccessful. They've looked at the other angle. The challenge is successful. It's been called a knock-on still. It's a knock-on against South, but it is no longer a penalty. It's a knock-on, and they keep their challenge. So all it really means is that the Dolphins can't go for the 2. It's not a penalty anymore, but it is a scrum down. The Dolphins will have a full set of 6 on the attack. 10 metres out from the line. I don't follow AFL, Will Main, so I'm sorry. It would be absolutely pointless me doing an AFL stream. Don't know any of the players. I don't understand the sport. I don't care for it. But we have discussed Michelle doing AFL streams. Something that we've contemplated here on the channel. Just to keep the variety up. But yeah, it wouldn't be me. 5 metres out here, the Dolphins. Josh Kerr dropped in the tackle. 5 metres out. They stay on the left. Tackle 4. 5 out from the line. And a little bit of a nothing play here for Saifiti. 5th and last. The Dolphins. Crash ball they've gone for. And a forward pass from dummy half. Pats on the back. High fives all around for the Bunnies' defense. Well, the Dolphins, what were they doing there? An absolute nothing set. A midfield scrum. 10 metres out from the line. And an absolute nothing set on attack. Capped off with a forward pass from dummy half from Donahue. Boy, this is so disjointed from the Dolphins. Rabbitohs, what a let-off. 4 minutes gone in the second half. But again... Oh, no. Tyrone Munro. Suspected collarbone injury. He was a standout in the first half for the Bunnies. So, more injury concerns for the Rabbitohs. 5th and last, Humphreys gets the kick away. Hammer takes it on the full. They've picked him out again. And he just brings it back into contact. The Hammer. He's been shut down tonight. Uncle Wayne, the mastermind, he had a plan, huh? A plan to shut down the Hammer. I should have known. I should have known better than to put the Hammer in the... Of course, Wayne Bennett would shut down one of the biggest attacking threats of the opposition. 40 meters out from the line. Saifiti on a big run. Front foot ball again for the Dolphins. Katoa and Finefeuiaki loses it. 0 tackle now for the Rabbitohs. Pushing the passes again. They're the Dolphins. And they are their own worst enemy at the moment. Tom 100. AU. Ahoy, mate. Up the bunnies. 12 points to 4. But, they're under the pump defensively. The Rabbitohs just can't get out of their own half. The Dolphins decimating them with the territory. Jye Arrow tries to do something about that, but only makes a couple of meters on play 3. Havili. Yeah, catch you later, Gamer Mel. Fifth and last, the Rabbitohs lose the ball in the play the ball. The Dolphins trailing by 8, but they continue to dominate this game. Fascinating. It's absolutely unreal. The Dolphins are just so on top. They find themselves behind by 8 points. And they will be on the attack again. A full set of 6, 30 meters out from the line. This is absolutely incredible. Rebel nuts, ahoy, mate. Down the short side, Finefeuiaki. Tackled 20 meters out. The Dolphins have had so many opportunities. Here's Saifiti in midfield. Stands in the tackle. Now he's brought to ground. Play 3. 15 out in front of the post. To the right they go. Katoa at the back to the hammer. Overlap here, and Asako scores untouched in the corner. Jermaine Asako gets a double. And finally, all the pressure tells. All the pressure finally telling. The Rabbitohs have just spent so much of the game down this end of the field, and they've finally been ripped apart. Jermaine Asako untouched in the corner for his second. Runs it around closer to the post as well. 12 points to 8. Kick to come. Corbin says, as a Finns fan, Hammer hasn't been impactful or consistent since pre-Origin last year. Jermaine Asako to convert his own try. Ten meters in from touch. Oh, that's a shocker. That is a dead set shocker. Jermaine Asako has left his kicking boots in 2024. Another misconversion. 12 points to 8. The Rabbitohs holding on to this slender lead. Back underway. The Dolphins dominating territory. Back out to the 30 metres line. Ten minutes gone in the second half. 4 points the difference. Herbie Farnworth. Held up in the tackle. Good defense there from the Rabbitohs in midfield. Fifth and last. The kick by O'Sullivan gets it away. Oh, it's been spilt backwards by Campbell. Graham collects the loose pass and brings it out to the 20. Pops it back for Humphreys. And Humphreys. Not a lot of meters made off that second phase ball. Robert Howe says, Dan, do you think the next to score win? It's got that feeling about it, doesn't it, Robert? I feel like the Rabbitohs have to be the next to score if they're going to hold on here. The Dolphins have just been dominant. It's amazing that they're behind, in all honesty. And now a big mistake from Cody Walker. Here come the Dolphins. Cody Walker has just flung the gate wide open and said, come on through, Finns. Here's your chance. With 30 minutes to go, Cody Walker. It wasn't the greatest pass in the world, but it should have been taken. And here come the Dolphins. .30-meter out, scrum in midfield. They attack left. They've got a 4-on-3. The hammer gets on the outside. Steps back in field. The slidey defense comes across and closes him down. But the Dolphins now looking very threatening. The lead is there for them to take. Saifiti taken down 10 meters out. Play 2. In at first receiver, Donahue. The inside ball for Josh Kerr, who beats 1. Tackle 3, 5 meters out. 6 more tackles. Oh, it's gone from bad to worse here for the Bunnies. Avarillo cuts back in field, heads back towards the post. Another set of 6. Oh, they can't hold on, surely. The Rabbitohs, I think the Dolphins just race away with it in the back end. If they score here. 2 meters out from the line. Crash ball for Kerr. 3 tackles down. Big defense here on the goal line for the Rabbitohs. Katoa heads across field, and it's off Campbell Graham. Not played at. Herbie Farnworth straightens and goes to ground. 5 out. Quick play the ball. Katoa to Max Plath, and Plath scores. Max Plath scores. They had him absolutely skinned. And the Rabbitohs, much like the last game, the similarities between that Tigers-Knights game, absolutely unreal. The score difference at the halftime break, the domination of territory from the team that's trailing, and the second half domination, the comeback, and now taking the lead. I think the Dolphins go on with it here. I think it's going to end up being a bit of a shellacking, to be honest. The Rabbitohs just look completely clueless. They've been very dogged in defense. But the Dolphins are just decimating them territorially, making breaks at will, and just rumbling up the field every set of 6. You can only hold on for so long, before you break. And there's still so long left in this game. But the Rabbitohs just haven't looked likely. Asako, much closer to the post for the first time tonight. Did his best to miss it, but he hooks it back in. Past that, inside that far upright. It just sneaks in. And the Dolphins lead this 14 points to 12. Unbelievable. Well, I think the scoreline now is looking a bit more like the stats. The match stats suggest the Dolphins should be ahead. And finally they are. 14 points to 12. Still over 20 minutes to play in this game. Plenty of time left, but the Dolphins, look at this, full of running. 2 tackles. They're already out to the 30. Bobbling the ball there, Finefeuiaki. He does have a case of the dropsies tonight, the big fella. 3 tackles and they're 40 out already. They are just rumbling upfield. And the Rabbitohs look completely dead on their feet, much like the Tigers in the last game. Ran out of steam from all the defending. 5th and last, the Dolphins in attacking range. Down the short side, O'Sullivan puts it high into the corner. Campbell Graham back and takes it on the full. But the Rabbitohs running the ball out from inside their own 10. Big defense from the Dolphins, keeping them pinned down. Oh, the similarities between these two games we've seen today. Just too hard to ignore. The Dolphins are well on top here. The Rabbitohs have got it all to do. Here's Campbell Graham outside the 20 at last, but that's play 4. The Dolphins made about 60 meters off their set. The Rabbitohs have made about 15. 5th and last. Humphreys from well inside his own 40. Spirals it down the middle of the field. And it's been well taken at the back by Jermaine Asako. And the Dolphins will start this set 40 out from their own line. Great field position. Down the short side and up to halfway. Somebody for the Rabbitohs needs to spark something. Play 3, 40 out from the line. Herbie Farnworth straightens. Held in the tackle. 30 out from the line. Slow play the ball. And he's well off the mark there, Herbie. Down the short side, Max Plath. 5th and last. 20 meters out. They go the short side again. Hammer on the wraparound. Puts the grubber kick through. And Jye Gray toes it forward. Oh, that was risky play. And the Dolphins, they very nearly came up with it. They've lost them. But Jye Gray took a chance. A big chance. And it's worked out in the end. Boy, that was risky. Scrum down in midfield. Rabbitohs with the feed, but 10 meters out from their own line again. Penalty to the Rabbitohs. Oh, they needed that. They needed that. The Dolphins have not set the scrum in time. Boy, do they need that. Humphreys puts it into touch, 30 meters out from their own line. And finally, some field position here for the Rabbitohs, but they're out on their feet. Campbell Graham takes it up to the 40. They need somebody to step up here, the Bunnies. Kepi. Still inside their own half on play 2. Straight forward, they march up to the halfway line. Tackle 3. Cody Walker has been very absent here. Humphreys out the back to Gray. Gray can't get on the outside of Avarillo. Well tackled. 40 meters out from the line. Poor service here for Humphreys, who dummies and decides to take the line on. 5th and last. Walker in midfield. Will put the chip in over the top, but Asako reads it well. Takes it on the full. Steps inside one. Asako brings it back to the 20. And the Dolphins back in possession. Oh, God. Watch the Rabbitohs give away a penalty now. The ball spills free from Herbie Farnworth. And there's a little push and shove in back play. Let's see. Where's Jye Arrow? Surely he's in there somewhere. There he is. And a penalty goes to the Rabbitohs, does it? A penalty to the Bunnies. Well, take the 2, square it up. They really need to tie this game up. Much like earlier when the Rabbitohs were penalised for a push, Herbie Farnworth has now been penalised for a push on Lachlan Hubner. Tit for tat. They would have to take the shot at 2 here. They have been under the pump. Tie the game up. Be crazy not to. And it seems like that is indeed the call here. Take the 2. I got to grab my phone charger. Phone's at 1%. Step up, Jamie Humphreys, to tie the game. He's cooked it. Hits the upright, bounces back into the field of play, and the hammer brings it away for the Dolphins. Beware the hammer in open play. Well, they've cocked it up, the Rabbitohs. Off the upright and back into the field of play, and now penalty to the Dolphins. Oh, my God. Wayne Bennett will want to retire. Uncle Wayne is going to want to retire after this. It couldn't get any worse, could it? Off the upright, and then the hammer in open space. And now a penalty to boot. The Dolphins back up at halfway, putting pressure back on the Rabbitohs. The similarities between these two games is absolutely unreal. Short pass in midfield to Saifiti. Takes it up to the 20. Tackle 3. Plenty of plays left here for the Dolphins. Plenty of time left in this match. There's still 20 minutes left in this game is what's concerning. As the hammer breaks away from 2. And he's brought down inside the 10. Still 2 tackles up the sleeve here for the Dolphins. Katoa to O'Sullivan. Numbers out to the left, but it goes in behind Tupou. And Tupou's wrapped up 5th and last. There's still 20 minutes to go in this game, and it's very concerning that the Rabbitohs look so out on their feet. O'Sullivan with the crossfield kick. Well taken there by Jack Whiten. From dummy half, Cody Walker's held up and driven backwards in the tackle. They've got to get themselves out of here. The Rabbitohs under the pump. 10 metres out from their own line on tackle 3. And Whiten now crunched on play 4. 4 tackles. They're still inside their own 10. 5th and last. And they're going to have to kick this from 15 metres out from their own line. Humphreys doesn't get a very good purchase on it. It's going to sit up on halfway for the hammer. And the Dolphins, a full set of 6 now as the hammer's picked up and driven back to halfway. 50 metres out. The Dolphins back on the attack. Once again, dominating territory. 17 minutes to go. And, Jye Arrow's hurt. He's busted open. Jye Arrow is busted open. He's lost a tooth, probably, it looks like. Bleeding profusely from the mouth. Jack Whiten's gone on report for a forearm. And we've just got time off here as Jye Arrow gets attended to. 63 minutes gone. 2 points the difference. Kafusi, who's had a haircut in the off-season, I can't help but notice. Felice Kafusi plays at 30 metres out in midfield. And Donahue does well, gets on the outside of Kepi. But he goes to ground 20 metres out. Dolphins looking good here. Katoa, dummies, takes the line on. Fifth and last. O'Sullivan standing down this near edge. 10 metres out. O'Sullivan, out the back it goes, and it's been dropped by Junior Tupou. The line was wide open. The Dolphins had created the overlap, and Junior Tupou spills it cold. That is a gift for the Rabbitohs. That would have been the game right there. Tupou scores in the corner unmarked if he catches that. That would have been game, set, match. The Rabbitohs, there are signs of life. But this defense of the Dolphins, the Rabbitohs just can't get out of their own end of the field. The Dolphins racing up. 2 tackles. And the Rabbitohs are still inside their own 10. Down the short side, a change of approach. 20 metres out now. Blow play the ball. The Dolphins up quickly again. Big defense. Aggressive defense. That's play 4. Who wants it? Yeah, the Bunnies have lost it. Penalty to the Rabbitohs. Oh, what a let-off. Oh, what a huge let-off. The Rabbitohs had dropped the ball. Captain's challenge. Felice Kafusi could find himself in a little bit of trouble here. The Rabbitohs bobble the ball, and then Kafusi challenge successful here for the Dolphins, and they're going to get the ball. And the Bunnies, they're their own worst enemy here at the moment. The Dolphins are going to get another full set of 6 in the attacking zone. Scrum down here for the Dolphins. So Felice Kafusi was penalised for a swinging arm that made contact with the head. And now they've spilt the ball on play 1. The Dolphins and the Rabbitohs have been let off the hook. The Dolphins challenged the call, and it transpired that Kafusi was just going for the ball in behind the Rabbitohs player. Didn't make contact with the head after all. Successful challenge. And then the Dolphins cough it up on play 1. 15 minutes to go. The Rabbitohs, can they finally get themselves in the Dolphins' half? They can. A good carry from Kepi. Now Cody Walker takes it to the line. The double pump gets it out to Whiten. Whiten tries to fend, but he is taken down. And some momentum here for the Rabbitohs. Cody Walker goes quick from dummy half. Play 4. Opportunity knocking here. They've had their backs against the wall for this entire half. Tallis Duncan fights his way to the 10-metre line. 5th and last. Options left and right. Cody Walker's out on the right, and that's where they go. Walker puts the grubber kick through. It's been battered down by Plath. It'll be 6 more tackles. Well, here's the chance for the Bunnies. This is the best opportunity that they've had this entire half. A full set of 6, 5 metres out from the line. Can the Dolphins' defence hold firm? From dummy half, they go out to the left. Jye Gray puts the goose step on. Gray still going. He's centimetres short, Jye Gray. If only he were taller. 10 metres out here on play 2. High shot on Humphreys. No. Resisting the urge for the penalty there, the referee. In front of the post, Tallis Duncan goes again. That's tackle 4. They're a metre short here, the Rabbitohs. They go left. Jye Gray again. Out the back it goes. And an overlap. And Isaiah Tuss dives over in the corner. Isaiah Tuss scores the try. And the Bunnies reclaim the lead. They were lined up to the left. And they just put it through the hands that created the space. The decoy runner, who was it? I need to get a number. The decoy runner drew in 2 defenders, drew in the outside man that caused the overlap. That's where that try was created. I'll need to see the replay to see who that was. Drew in 2 defenders, the inside man and the outside man, and that created the overlap. And an easy try for Isaiah Tuss. Robert Howe says, whoa, what a game. $16-14, the kick to come. DJ Shack says the Dolphins were playing with fire. That was coming with how many errors they've made. .68.5 minutes gone. Conversion attempt from the sideline. Is Jamie Humphreys kicking? Yes, looks like he is. They're persisting with him. He missed that simple 2-pointer earlier, and this is a very difficult kick. Humphreys from the sideline. It's hooking away, and it hooks across the face of the post. 16-14. 12 minutes to play. Going down to the wire. Friday night footy. Delivered. We've seen 2 very good games. And another one going down to the absolute end. $16-14. And again, not a single tick off the multi as the Dolphins get us underway dangerously close to the sideline. That restart. Campbell Graham runs it back towards midfield. 11 minutes to play, 2 points the difference. This is still anybody's game. I would have to say the Dolphins probably still looking the better of the 2 teams. I think that's fair to say. You would back the Dolphins in from here still. With 10 minutes to play, that's plenty of time. The Rabbitohs. Jai Arrow slow to get up and play that one. Trying to get the penalty. Laumatungi in midfield. That's a good charging run. Beats one defender. Frick Cheese says, who would you back to beat the Broncos? Storm, Panthers, Manly. Most of the other top 8 teams. Paul, play the ball. And this is another turnover on halfway. Oh, the Rabbitohs. They are just the victims of their own demise here. Oh, they're letting themselves down so badly. Charlie says Bunnies are going to win, trust me. Oh, I hope so, Charlie. They are making it so hard on themselves, aren't they? Ollie is the best. Ahoy. Your mum, Kim, says ahoy. Ahoy there, Kim. As Averillo breaks up the middle. Jake Averillo brought to ground. 35 metres out. The Dolphins front foot ball once more. Big defense from the Bunnies there, though. Big hit from Tallis Duncan. Short ball from Katoa. Flat pass. Puts Lemuelu in a gap. The Rabbitohs hold on for dear life. 9 minutes to go. Tackle 3. Kafusi in midfield. Through the hands it goes. O'Sullivan. Overlap here on the left for the Dolphins. Tupou spills the ball. Tupou coughs it up in contact. Junior Tupou. Not for the first time tonight with the try line beckoning. Comes up with a mistake. That one was not as bombed as the last one, but that's a big let-off. Campbell Graham has done extremely well backtracking in defence there. Held his ground, comes across, puts the hit on Tupou, and the ball spills free. DJ Shaq's got a lot more faith in my team than I do. Yeah, I'm not so sold on that, DJ Shaq. I'm not sold at all on my Sharkies this year, I'm afraid. But I appreciate that you would be backing them in against the Broncos. Slow to get up and play the ball again here. The Rabbitohs appealing for a penalty, hoping for some relief to get them out of this end. Leading by 2 with 8 minutes to play. And a good strong carry here from Sean Kepi up towards halfway. Walker, inside ball to Kalaumatangi, 5th and last, just inside Dolphins territory. Cody down the short side, puts it high, contestable kick. Pressure on Osako, leaps and takes it, timed perfectly by Jack Whiten, and he puts him down. The Dolphins start from inside their 20, and suddenly it's the Dolphins struggling to get back in attack here, and the Rabbitohs with the go forward in defense. Hammer in at first receiver. Onto Tupou. 40 meters out from their own line. Play 3. 7 minutes remaining. Kerr with a good run. Quick play the ball. Rabbitohs defense is backtracking. 5th and last. Just inside South territory. In midfield, O'Sullivan puts it high. Should be an easy take at the back here. And Campbell Graham does take it. And he brings it out to the 20. They're just slowly but surely moving that line forward. The Rabbitohs. No mistakes. That's the order of the day. They lead by 2. They just need to play smart here for the remaining 6 minutes. And they should see it home. Cody Walker. Onto Kalaumatangi, another strong carry. He's been strong tonight, Keon. Space from dummy half. 5th and last, 40 meters out from the Dolphins line. 6 minutes to play. Cody Walker down the left edge again, puts it high for Osako. Putting pressure on him again, he does well. Loses the ball, Osako spills it out. And the Rabbitohs have picked it up and scored. Kalaumatangi picks up the loose ball, plants it down in the corner, and we are going to have a look. We are going to have a look here. It'll go up as no try, but we're going to have a look here. The ball is spilt out. This is a big call with 6 to play. Jermaine Osako goes into contact, and the ball's reefed out by Jack Whiten. Well, Jack Whiten, the goof. Jack Whiten, you big goof. Of course it's Jack Whiten there to screw things up. Of course it's Jack Whiten. This is a huge, huge call in the context of this match. Well, he hasn't really reefed the ball, in fairness. He's clearly touched the ball. And it is going to be a penalty here against the Rabbitohs. And, of course, Jack Whiten screwing things up for every team that he plays for in typical Jack Whiten form. And the Dolphins with a piggyback here with 6 minutes to play. Just under 6 minutes. And Katoa finds touch only 20 meters out. That's not a good touch finder. Five and a half to play. The Dolphins 30 meters out from their own line on tackle one. Here's Kafusi in midfield. Backs into the defense. Steals a few extra meters. 40 meters out. Straight up the middle goes Kerr. Spills it out the back. The Rabbitohs dive on the loose ball. And it's brought away by Jye Arrow. Jye Arrow wins the battle on the ground. And the Rabbitohs have it back. And the Dolphins, well, another mistake down their own end of the field. And the Rabbitohs, they just have to play smart. If they play smart here, they can pretty much live down this end of the field for the last 5 minutes. Just keep the ball away from Jack Whiten. For the love of God, keep it away from him. Because he'll do something to screw up. Well, here's Jye Gray. Inside the 10, fifth and last. This is a big play now. A repeat set here for the Rabbitohs would be huge. Down the short side, Whiten goes into contact and takes the tackle 5 meters out. They've basically just said, we're going to back ourselves to defend. You've got to go the length of the field here, Dolphins. 4 minutes to play. The Dolphins will probably get 2 sets. 2 more cracks at it. From inside their own 20, here's Tupou. Brought to ground on tackle 3. 30 meters out. Avarillo with a big fend, but he's heading across field. They've spilt the ball. Backwards it goes. And Farnworth beats one. Beats Cody Walker. Gets the offload to the Hammer in space. That's dangerous. Oh, the Hammer brought down just short of halfway on play 4. The Hammer in open space. Oh, that was a very scary sight momentarily for the Rabbitohs. Fifth and last. Katoa. A high Burton-style bomb. A lot of distance on it. Jye Gray happy to let it bounce. And it sits up kindly for him at the back. He heads across field. And the Rabbitohs will go to ground. Back inside their own 10. But they've got the advantage here of being in the lead. And they've just got to see this set out. If they see this set out, get a good kick away, they just have to defend one more set. Three tackles now, 30 out from their own line. The Rabbitohs, they have to complete this set. It is crucial. Just short of halfway now on play 4. Been a good one. Kalamatangi standing out wide. Bumps off one. Gets away from another. Flick pass back in field. Out to Jye Gray. Gray straightens. Fifth and last. Just inside Dolphins territory. To Humphreys. Humphreys with a low flat kick. And it sits up for Asako at the back. I don't know that that was the right kick option. But they're on Asako and they drive him back inside the 20. This is it for the Dolphins, really. This is their last attempt. The Hammer in midfield has been so well contained tonight. The Hammer hasn't been given any space at all. Tupou takes tackle 3. They're still inside their own 30. Saifiti gets the arms free, looks to offload, but he's well wrapped up there in the tackle. Was that Jye Arrow? Great defense. Down the short side, Katoa. Numbers here for the Dolphins. Farnworth steps through, almost gets away from Jack Whiten. Gets the offload back to the Hammer, but he's been called held. Fifth and last. They're 40 meters out from the line. This is a big play. Katoa puts it high. The Rabbitohs. Gray's under it. Just has to take it. Does take it. Jye Gray brings it down. And there's a minute to play. The Rabbitohs can surely wind the clock down here. Kafusi tries to rip the ball away with the one-on-one strip. This will be the slowest set of 6. Slowest set of 6 that the Rabbitohs have ever played. Campbell Graham holds on tight to that ball. cradling it like a baby. They'll get a couple of tackles, the Dolphins. Kalamatangi, straight up the middle. They're 40 meters out, 30 seconds to play. They'll look. Kalamatangi suddenly has a sternum injury. Humphreys keeps it low, flat, needs to find touch. It's been taken on the fall by Asako. Open space now for the hammer. And he is wrapped up well by Cody Walker. 10 seconds to go. 2 tackles here for the Dolphins. Katoa wastes one of them. This is the last play. The game on the line. O'Sullivan kicks. It skews off the side of the boot slightly. This could bounce anywhere, but back to take it is Jye Arrow. Don't tell me. Jye Arrow dives on the loose ball, and the Rabbitohs have won 16 points to 14 in a thriller. Back-to-back thrillers here in Friday Night Footy. The Rabbitohs over the Dolphins. What a gritty performance it was. They were under the pump and on the back foot for majority of that game. Absolutely amazing that they've come through and won. And Jermaine Asako, so reliable normally with goal kicks. Not tonight. That's been the difference, hasn't it? 2 missed conversions from Jermaine Asako. It could have been 18-16. Obviously, the Rabbitohs missed a couple of kicks themselves. But the importance of goal kicking. It was 3 tries apiece. Oh. Wow. Down to the wire. And the Rabbitohs with the win. Amazing. Amazing defensive performance. Robert Howe says, what a call, Dan. Channel 9 will be ringing you, mate. I don't think so. They couldn't handle me. I appreciate the kind words, but yeah, let's face it. They couldn't handle my brutal honesty, right? I mean, honestly, could you imagine me on the TV? They'd be getting letters. What? He said what about Reece Walsh? Oh, now that's just uncalled for. You can't say anything bad about Reece Weesey. Probably would have got in trouble for what I said about Jack Whiten earlier as well. Oh boy, oh boy. Whew, everyone take a breath, right? 16 points to 14. The Rabbitohs over the Dolphins. That would be the other thing that I would struggle with, Defunk. Like, that'd be the part that I think I would struggle with the most. Calling a game and not seeing feedback from the chat room. McGregor Orchard, ahoy, mate. Not the Todd. $16 points to 14. Wayne Bennett has got one up on his former club nice and early. $16 points to 14. It went down to the wire. There were a couple of key moments in that game. I mean, the Dolphins, honestly, once again, in all honesty, this game for the Rabbitohs, you have to look at it in perspective. I think I will stop myself short of saying that they don't deserve to win. They obviously deserve to win. It was an amazing defensive effort. Now, they were helped along a lot by the Dolphins' mistakes. So I don't really want to say they don't deserve to win. But you might understand what I'm trying to say. the Rabbitohs need to look at this game in perspective and just go, geez, we dodged a bullet there. We dodged a bullet. We got the win. That's great. We dodged a big bullet. They missed their conversions. Okay, we missed a couple of kicks as well. If they kick their conversions, they're ahead by 2 at the back end there. So there's a lot to work on for the Bunnies, and certainly didn't have it all their own way. But look, I believe in Wayne Bennett. I believe in Wayne Bennett. He will have them fit and firing in the weeks to come. And of course, they've got players to come back. Troops ready to come back. Lots of injuries at the moment for the Bunnies. So I think Wayne Bennett got the close to the best that he could have got out of what he had available. McGregor Orchard says Wayne Bennett is with the Rabbitohs now. Didn't he spend only a year or 2 with the Finns? Yes, he did. Only spend a year or 2 with the Finns. And yeah, back to the Rabbitohs. And he starts with a win over his former club. Ollie is the best says it's my friend Lee's birthday. Oh, happy birthday, Lee. I've got a friend named Lee as well. What it's worth. 16 points to 14. Oh, God. What a game. What a good couple of games. I mean, the Tigers-Knights game was a little disappointing, I suppose. The Tigers weren't really up to scratch in the second half, played themselves out in the first. It was a little bit better of an all-round match, I thought. It was 2 one-way traffic. Like, the Knights really should have won by about 30 points, let's be honest. It should have been a blowout. The fact that the Knights just were as bad as they were kept it close. This one, though, was a true close game. Close, hard-fought encounter. Down to the wire. So many twists and turns. It really looked like the Dolphins were finishing way better of the 2 teams and that they were just going to romp home in the end. But then the big let-off, the big mistake from that scrum. I think it was from that scrum. And the Dolphins dropped the ball on play 1. That's when the Bunnies sort of went, yep, it's ours now. Up the field they marched and they stayed up there. Oh, boy. 16 points to 14, though. What a match. Down to the wire. Great contest. Gripping stuff. Could not have asked for anything better for our Friday night footy. Beautiful stuff. All right, Wasted Water Sports. I thank you very much for your company here for this one. Oh, it's been intense. That second game, that Rabbitohs Dolphins game, but it's been a great Friday night footy overall. Lots of fun has been had. Certainly hope that lots of fun's been had there in the chat room, wherever you've joined us from, whichever social media platform you've joined us from. wastedsports.com.au, our official website. We will be back tomorrow for more action. Thank you very much for your company here in this one. I'll pump in a couple of ads before we leave on the YouTube. And yes, I shall catch you tomorrow. Thank you so much once again for being part of this one. Cheers. Catch you soon.